I first started, I was a boomer. What I did is I literally pulled up actual maps, printed them out, and like hand drew my whole route. Hey, I was trying to be efficient.
We've mentioned this ASIN in the past. It's the Godzillas. So the Godzillas were brand new on
Oh, you
Walmart
were
shelves.
early.
I was early. That
Hot ASIN.
and the Godzilla ASINs weren't scanning at the time when I found it. So you had to title search it.
Going back to how you say that you have this catalog that you rely on, the longer you sell on Amazon, the bigger your catalog that you rely on is going to be. Try to nail in on your why, because that's going to help you decide if it's something that you actually need to be doing. Whenever things get tough, going back to your why and remembering why you started is going to help you be able to power through that.
Like, understand why you're doing it, right? So last year, I would say during Q4, I personally was disappointed in my first Q4 because I feel like I could have done a lot better. So then, coming out to next year, I did sacrifice some time with my family. I did sacrifice some sweat to have a bigger Q4 than I did the year prior. But then I kind of sat back and just realized, like, I much more enjoyed going to Disney during the Christmas holiday season than being at home grinding for Q4, right? Not meaning that you can't grind for Q4. You can do everything up until, Christmas or the week before Christmas, whatever may have you. But shout out Phil. He said he set a goal for himself and he was sleeping in a cottage in his garage to make sure he hit his unit goal for the month. And although that's cool and that's awesome, and I'm sure it like catapulted his business further than he already had catapulted it, I'm going to be in bed with my wife getting rest and going to Disney.
And hashtag Amazon will pay for Disney too.
Hashtag Amazon.
Yeah, and speaking of Q4 and like the holidays, that's kind of one of the cons of this industry is that like when everyone, normally you want to be with family and friends and relaxing and resting, that's our busy season and that's when we're grinding. Like Turkey 5, when everyone's at Thanksgiving, Black Friday, spending time with family, that's go time. Like that's when all the good deals are. Turkey 5 is crazy, really the busiest 5 days of the year. So that can be kind of a con of this industry.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah, I'm going to give you some pushback on this because you should know this the best, right? So yeah, it's going to be a grind when you're learning, when you're first going, learning how to do everything because you don't know everything. You haven't built out systems. But let's be honest.
Once you've outsourced everything.
Once you've outsourced everything like Logan has, it becomes a lot less stressful and you're able to focus on many other things that you actually want to focus on.
Yeah, and what's nice about the way that a lot of people outsource in this industry is through VAs in the Philippines. And yeah, that's Thanksgiving is a holiday here, but it's not there. So they can really be grinding on their end during Turkey 5, where you're still able to kind of enjoy the holidays a little bit more. So really, my statement, I think, stands, but it does kind of depend on what point you're at in your business.
And once you have like a couple of Q4s under your belt, you're a lot of the same toys for the most part.
Same deals on all the websites.
Have the same deals on all the websites, and they all go out of stock 3 weeks before Christmas or the week of Christmas. So, I mean, your sourcing is kind of done by the data you've gathered the years prior. Once you're in it for a couple of years.
And going back to how you say that, you have this catalog that you rely on. The longer you sell on Amazon, the bigger your catalog that you rely on is going to be. And probably the less time you have to actually spend sourcing because you can always just go back to your catalog. Like let's say there's a Black Friday sale at Bath & Body Works. That's a pretty good one. Instead of having to go through Bath & Body Works and find all the good ASINs, you can just go into your catalog, search Bath & Body Works and say, oh, here's 20 ASINs that I bought last year. I'm just going to restock. It'll take me 10 minutes.
100%. Yeah, whatchamacallit, Clear the Shelf. Chris Grant had a thread or an X on this where he literally has a catalog of, I think he said 1,000 plus ASINs. And for the most part, his VAs just kind of source off his own catalog and see what's going on. He uses that, combines that with the app that he designed, Gazer.
Sales Gazer.
Yeah, Sales Gazer. So he combines that with that, and he doesn't really source many new products. I mean, he knows how to. He obviously runs the boot camp, and I'm sure he does from time to time. But according to him, he just, for the most part, back sources his own stuff.
And that's huge, having that catalog you can go back to. So Cisco, what do you think are some other ways that Amazon sellers could prepare for Q4 and get ready?
Okay. Aside from knowing what you want to get out of Q4, aside from sourcing, I would say be prepared with with supplies. Have your bubble mailers.
Yep. FBM goes crazy in Q4, especially those last few weeks.
FBM goes crazy. Yeah. Have your tape. Shout out. Can you see it from here? Maybe not. Oh, there it is. There's my tape gun on the back. So definitely have your supplies ready to go. If you are going to be doing any like retail arbitrage, Make sure you have a full gas tank. Make sure you know where you're going. Cody had a really good note about this. Don't just aimlessly drive around. Have a route picked out and know where you're going. And if you can, do store pickups.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of a route, when I first started, I was a boomer. What I did is I literally like pulled up actual maps and printed them out and like hand drew my whole route. Hey, I was trying to be efficient.
Hold on, let me get it for you.
I still have them.
There's an app that you can download that is super helpful. It's called Road Warrior. It looks like this.
And you plug in your destinations and it maps it for you?
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
I need to re-download it.
I had to hand draw everything.
Back in your day, this has been out since. Get out of here, bro. You're like 10 years old.
No, I was just. Come on now. Come on. Don't be doing me that way. No,
yeah, what'd you eat for dinner today, huh?
That makes me a 5-year-old.
Oh, okay. Chicken tenders, fries, and broccoli.
Yep. And sparkling water to wash it all down.
Okay, that's a little manly of you.
Of course, always. Yeah, so make sure that you're getting your supplies ready. Stock up on the free stuff from USPS. Make sure that you got all your labels. You can get those for free from UPS. Tape, where do you get your tape nowadays? You still like a Walmart guy? I like to get my tape from the Boxery. They got that Lux tape. It is top tier, high quality. Definitely recommend looking into the Boxery.
Yeah, but if you run out, you can't just go to the Boxery store and get a roll.
If you're in a pinch, then you can go to Walmart. But we're talking about getting the choice tape.
Right. Tape is tape, bro.
All right. So yeah, get all your supplies. What else can you do to be prepping for Q4?
Get your mind right. Get ready to, be grinding if that's what you want. Like I said, Phil had a cottage in his garage to make sure everything went out.
Phil, by the way.
Be prepared to run like crazy. Like, I understand that you might be all OA or something along those lines, but there are going to be opportunities. Like this last Q4, you had the Stanley Cups, and you could have either ordered them online and waited forever, or even like there was some new color ones that were coming out that you had to wait till like a Tuesday or Wednesday for them to come out. But in store, Dick's Sporting Goods already had them out that Sunday. Depending on the manager and how nice you are to them, they have the authority, or some Dick's, I shouldn't say all of them, have the authority to give you an additional 20% off just for quantity or whatever. So don't be afraid to ask for an extra discount.
Say, if you don't ask, the answer is already no. I did that on numerous occasions, especially like Walmart's and the clearance aisle, really, because that's the stuff they're trying to move. If they had like 30 of an item that is just sitting there, I'm like, hey, if I take all 30, can you mark it down another 30%? And then they usually would negotiate a little bit, but I would get it cheaper than it was originally marked.
How good do you think your success rate was doing that? If you think back,
pretty high, probably like 80%, 90%.
You would be surprised. You would definitely be surprised. Now, I think those numbers are higher just because of the area you live in. There's more of that like hometown culture. Everyone's nice to each other.
And less volume too. So like they really need to move that stuff. And if someone's going to take it all, take it all. Versus in your area, they have like 10 times as many people coming through. They'll move eventually.
More like 20 or 30 times more.
Yeah, exactly. Way more volume.
100%. But no, even in my area, I would say, 1 out of 9, 1 out of 10. So, I mean, it's still worth doing, especially if you're buying in quantities. So,
yeah, for sure. Another tip I'll give you during Q4 is the day after the holidays can be really, really big profit-wise if you're willing to go into stores and do retail arbitrage. Some of my best days were going in because everything gets marked down like 50% the next day, but people are still paying the full price because the Amazon price hasn't caught up yet. So what you can do is go in, buy it at 50% off and FBM it and capture that price that day. That's been a really, really helpful strategy for me. I don't know if you do that at all.
Yeah, no, definitely. And don't stop buying. Just continue buying into middle of January, into close to February.
Wait, Cisco. I thought Amazon shuts down after December 31st.
Oh, did I miss the memo?
Yeah.
They do, right? Okay,
guys, I'm joking, but like I can't tell you how many times I get the question, should I still send in inventory? Is it too close to the end of the year? Amazon is $1 trillion company, guys. They're not shutting down at the end of the year. Sales still roll in. They're still going to be generating like hundreds of millions, billions of dollars every single month. Yes, Q4 is busier. They have more sales going on, but Amazon's not going to shut down. Keep sending in those shipments. Keep buying them.
And if you're worried about returns, definitely be worried about returns because January you do get a bunch of returns. But here's a tip. Yeah, return to wary. But here's a tip to help avoid that, right? So a category that basically doesn't get returned, food items, right? groceries. So look at what you can sell as far as replenishables for groceries. A lot of pumpkin spice starting basically now. You're probably late to it by the time this episode
You
gets
are
released.
late. You're super late.
And then a hot ASIN, if you can find it, that I had last year and I gave it to Logan. I don't think he bought any of those. I don't think he could find any. But the peppermint hot cocoa, yeah, with the gingerbread.
Oh yeah.
So those were balling and popping. And look for packs because they'll sell like crazy.
Yeah, and on those seasonal like food types items, make sure you're not just scanning the barcode, making sure that you're doing title searches and image searches to finding those different bundles and pack quantities that won't come up just by the title search or by the UPC search.
So that's
Q4.
And avoid clothes unless they're Nike socks from Kohl's.
Where'd you get that lesson? I don't know. Who sells Nike socks from Kohl's?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't wear socks. I wear sandals.
I've sold some Nike socks from Kohl's.
I've sold some Under Armour socks, Adidas socks. But I got all the socks I've ever purchased have been from like Marshalls or TJ Maxx.
Those are good places.
RA.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you guys don't already do RA, I would encourage you to try it out like now so that you can be ready to do it during Q4. Because there's a lot of opportunity during the holidays for retail arbitrage, especially being able to get those items quicker and FBMing them to people is going to be really important. Another tip is make sure you've got your prep on lock. If you're not already with a prep center and you're doing a lot of OA, get a prep center today because they're going to be busy and probably filled up by the time Q4 hits. So making sure that you have a good system for your prep lockdown, that's going to be really, really important.
Yep. And if you have any other tips that you guys like better than any of the ones that we mentioned, definitely make sure to share them in the comments below. We are a tight-knit community here as Amazon sellers, and we're all just trying to help each other out.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Peace.